Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh, Bashem Al Shai, Bashem Rakakodash. Shalom to the 144,000 and rest of the elect up there. Shalom to you all. And I'm going to entitle this video, this is a response to, if the mark is sin, where are the people with grievous source? So this is a response to the title of this video, or the video was put up by Soldier of Yahweh. While Yahweh Shai, subscribe and be edified. This is the title is response to Bishop Nathaniel. If the mark is sin, where are the people with grievous sores? And that's in Revelation chapter 16, verse 2. It says, anybody that receives the mark shall receive a sore, which when you go into the root words in the Greek, it's talking about a cancer. The sore, a grievous sore is a cancer. A grievous sore is a cancer. Now, what I'm going to do is, before I go into this, I hadn't seen this. I just kind of played the first. He did the opening, praising Yahweh Bashem Al Shai Bashem Rakakodash. And then he mentioned Bishop Nate's name. So I'm just going by the title right here. Yeah, because you got to explain that. Both the members of the IUIC and the ISPK and Wi-Fi, the way they teach it is like people already have the mark. Well, at one time he said that they already have the mark. Now he's saying, oh, the mark is going to come. This is what Bishop Nate said. The mark is going to come. How do you phrase it? He said, we sin now, right? We're under grace. We sin. You're not supposed to sin. You fight to not to, mortify thy members. That's in Romans 8. So you try your best not to sin. But there's going to come a time where an Edomite's going to make an announcement, and which sounds stupid as hell. He's going to make an announcement. Maybe Trump will make an announcement saying, today is July 4th. From this day forward, you have to sin. You have to commit sin, meaning you got to go against the Bible. If you haven't never committed adultery, you got to commit adultery now. You honor the Sabbath, you can't honor the Sabbath no more. You just sin. Just sin. You're not a Mo, be a Mo. So he's going to make this announcement that you got to start sinning, man. If you're sinning now, it's good, but you got to continue this. As of this day, you got to it's officially on the record that you have to sin. And if we find out that you're not sinning, we're going to lock you up. We're going to chop your head off, and you're not going to be able to buy or sell. How are they going to do that? All I got to do is go to BJ. I always use BJ's. I go to BJ's a lot. All I got to do is when I cash out, they'll ask me, did I commit a sin? I said, yeah. They'll say, what did you do? I said, committed adultery with 2 women. Okay, you can buy. Somebody behind me, he just got up in the morning. He ain't commit no sins in the day. And did you commit a sin? No, I just got up in the morning. Well, you got to put that stuff back. You go commit a sin, and you come back and you tell me to sin, then you can buy. You see how fucking stupid, how utterly stupid that shit sounds. That's what he said. He said that, I don't know, about a year ago. Keeps changing it. He said you can sin now, but there's going to come a time when the devil is going to make an announcement saying that now, today, you got to start sinning. That's when you stop sinning. Because if you sin, you got the mark. Okay, so what if Trump makes the announcement and you stop, Nate stops sinning, all his congregation stops sinning, they don't sin no more. They just perfect. They go to the BJ's, Costco's or whatever, Target, ShopRite, Stop and Shop, whatever. How are they gonna know whether you sin or not unless you lie? Oh, well, wait a minute. You can not sin, and then tell the person that you did sin, and then they say, well, how do you prove it? I said, well, I sinned by lying to you because I said I didn't sin when I sinned, or vice versa. You see how fucking stupid that sounds? You see how fucking stupid that you hear how fucking stupid that sounds? How in the fuck is a security guard gonna know if you sin or not, or whether you lying or not? This is fucking stupid. But you got all you. Hey, I put a short video of them marching at the Super Bowl. It was about 2,000 of them niggas marching, and they were all dark skinned. I guess he kicked out all the Northern Kingdom tribes. I guess if you're Northern Kingdom, you can't be in that march. There's some fucking creepy ass shit going on in the IUIC. The only light skinned brother out there is Captain Shem, and he looked like he's a Judite, but he looked like an Ephraimite. Straight up looked like an Ephraimite, or maybe a Simeonite. You know, you go to the hood in the Bronx somewhere, they're gonna talk to him in Spanish. Just like me, they talk to me. Everybody talk to me, especially the women. They always talk to me in Spanish. Hola, mi amor. ¿Cómo está? ¿Qué pasó, papi? When they're rubbing you, if they like you, they rub your arm. They say, ¿Qué pasó, papi? ¿Qué pasó? Anyway, let me stop. Yeah, I got a thing for the Northern Kingdom, you know, like we all do. Anyway, let me stop. Anyway, let me just go ahead and play it.
All right, and today's lesson is going to be entitled along the lines of responding to Bishop Nathaniel, how not to teach about the MOTB. All right, responding to Bishop Nathaniel, how not to teach about the MOTB. All right, and it's going to be something along those lines, but as you know,
and
all
like
right,
a video how not to get jumped in the hood. Number one, you don't wear a shiny suit and got money, diamonds and gold chains and shit. You gonna get jumped. How not to get jumped in the hood. So I like this, brother. You should have put that in here. How not to. Let me bring it back. Gotta have fun with this thing.
Responding to Bishop Nathaniel, how not to teach about the MOTB. All right, responding to Bishop Nathaniel, how not to teach about the MOTB.
And at the same time, how not to get jumped in the hood. Come on, I'm having fun with this. You gotta have fun with this. And I'm going to go to the chat in a little bit in a couple of minutes. I'll go in the chat and I'm gonna ask the question. What does Revelation 16:2 mean? And what's IUIC's take on Revelation 16:2? And what is GMS take on Revelation 16:2? Let's see how that works out. So let's listen. I'm sorry, I'm rambling.
All right, and it's going to be something along those lines, but as you know, all right, the great benevolent Oz, all right, or Bishop Nathaniel, all right, beginning with
Oz, that's cool, brother. Yeah, that's Black Oz. Hey, well, we pulled the curtain on the nigga, you know.
Beginning with Bishop Nathaniel at the IUIC, they've been, consistently changing the doctrine, all right, taking the names of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai away, all right, and then perverting the gospel. All right, which we believe that they've sold out. We believe that they've taken a bag. We don't got proof on that. But according to, how they've been changing, the scripture says, meddle not with them that are given to change. They've continually and consistently continued, all right, to pervert and change the doctrine in the true gospel. Okay. And as we know, when it comes down to the MOTB, they've changed their stance, all right, on the MOTB various amounts of times as well.
Numerous times. Or Jake in the hood, numerous of times. They switched it and changed it. Meddle not with them that are giving the change.
They said that, the MOTB is an embargo. Then the MOTB is sanctions. The MOTB is sin.
Well, no, before that he said he said embargo, but first he said the MOTB, the mark is only for, this is about 2014 when we're going back and forth with him. He said the mark of the beast is not talking about people. And the 17th verse tells you, which he didn't touch the 17th verse. He said the mark of the beast is talking about countries and companies. Then you have the brothers read it, and he says small and great, small and great. He says small countries and great countries, small companies and great companies, rich and poor, rich nations and poor nations. You know that's what is the poor nation? A third world. And he never went to the 17th verse. When I ran into the two Northern Kingdom brothers at BJ's in Pelham, like I said, we were out there for about 25 minutes and we formed a camp. There was people that stopped. If you ever been to the Pelham one, a lot of Benjamin, Latin tribes and shit. They come up from the Bronx. And when we started speaking, there was a crowd that formed. They were listening. There were people listening, man. And we were going into the chip. And I told him, I said, look, yo, go to the 17th verse. Go to the 17th verse. And he didn't want to go to the 17th verse. I don't remember if he actually did. And I said, that shows you that it's not talking about countries and companies. It's talking about people. 17th verse says men. Why do we got to keep going through this, man? And shouldn't Bishop Nate have it, understand it by now? If you watch our videos, what you said, I watch all your videos. You would know that that's pretty much my favorite subject, because this is the next big the next big prophecy before the destruction, the deliverance, and the kingdom. The destruction, deliverance, and the kingdom will not come. I know I'm sounding like a broken record. Will not come until the prophecy of the mark of the beast is fulfilled. It's not fulfilled. They have the technology. There's thousands of people that got it, but they got to get billions of people to get it. So either he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, he's filled up with pride, he doesn't want to admit that he's wrong, or he took the bag.
They just all over the goddamn place. All right, now this video, this is from IUIC Minneapolis 81, and this came out 3 weeks ago. Now I'm not sure if this particular recording, I rather say, is an older recording, but once again, Bishop Nathaniel was doubling down on the MOTB, the mark of the beast, being sin. All right, now, but he expounds on how it could be sin, in this video, and then he'll try to twist and throw digital currencies in there as well at the same time too, which, beginning with the apostles on down, beginning with Elder Apostle Tahar on down, we said that Bishop Nathaniel was going to do this. We clearly said it, we clearly seen it, and we let you know in advance this is what he was going to do. All right, because with this AI infrastructure being set up, all right, and this beast system getting set up, all right, all these false camps that are teaching what the MOTB ain't, now they backs are against the wall. Now they going up against the ropes. All right, because we've been warning and constantly warning to ad nauseum, all right, that the mark of the beast is the RFID microchip. Okay, everything is going to go cashless. They're going to put you on a digital grid. All right, and with that microchip, you are going to be tracked and you are going to be traced, and it will be under your skin. That's what's getting ready to happen. That's the next step. But they've been scoffing at it for many years and talking all kinds of shit about us and talking all kinds of shit, saying what it ain't, but they can never explain what it is. Now listen to this bogus ass breakdown. I don't want to speak too much, but listen to this. All right, let's go into it.
I can already imagine. I'm gonna let it play, but I'm thinking about these guys. What's wrong with these dudes? What's wrong with Yahweh Sop? Yahweh Sop should be saying, instead of saying to the audience, "You're right, you're right," he should be saying that to my man Nate, Bishop Nate. You're right, Nate, because that's going. Anyway, please forgive me.
I'm starting at 3 hours and 26 minutes. All right, but the point is like 3:29, but we're just gonna let it play for a minute.
Things of the earth do business under the United States of America's authority. Go ahead.
And the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
Meaning her philosophies, her doctrines, her policies. Go ahead.
So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness. And I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast.
The scarlet-colored beast is NATO in the EU. Go ahead.
Full of names of blasphemy.
Full of names of blasphemy.
Having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Put the 7 heads and 10 horns up. 7 heads, 10 horns.
You're gonna get the 7 heads, 10 horns. The 7 heads wrong. Don't mention Russia. Russia's not part of the 7 heads. He still got it. He watches our video, so he knows that he's going off. But guess what? Because of pride, he's not gonna say, "Oh, I was wrong. Russia is not a part of it." It's what I say. The one 2,000 years ago, the beast represented Germanium Major, Germanium Minor. Then later you had Britain, Great Britain, and you had damn, I got to think of those names. I just woke up, so. But anyway, Russia is not one of them. Russia is definitely not one of them.
So we got new people here. They might not know. Right there, 7 heads: Greece, Rome, Spain, France, Germany, Russia, Great Britain.
So, all right.
Russia is not a part of it. If you're talking about the beast going 2,000 years ago, Russia wasn't even heard of until. So we're talking the height of the beast in the Roman Empire was during the time period of, let's say, before the birth of the Messiah up until 95 AD. Russia didn't come on the scene. That was no man's land. Russia did not come on the scene until circa 865 AD. So we're talking 700 years in the future. So how in the hell can Russia be a part of the 7 heads? And they're part of these other, Spain, France, Germany, and so forth. They became a part of the 7 heads because the Roman Empire conquered them and they had to come up under Rome. Right? So Rome initiated the attacks upon them. So how in the hell did they defeat the Russians when the Russians didn't come about 700 years in the future? About 765 years in the future. Almost 800 years in the future. The gathering of the 7 heads and 10 horns now is referring to NATO and the EU. By the way, NATO nations, there's 32 NATO nations. I believe there's 28 EU nations. But they're based upon the 7 and the 10. That's a whole nother video. And we went through that before.
Strike number 1, he's already going off here. All right, so he's showing that the 7 heads and 10 horns is Greece, Rome, Spain, France, Germany, Russia, and Great Britain, which is 100% incorrect. Now, the correct 7 heads is the Greeks, the Romans, the Spanish, the French, Germania Major, Germania Minor, in the British, Great Britain. That's the correct 7 heads and 10 horns. Now you got to ask yourself.
Germania Major and Germania Minor goes back 2,000 years ago. You know, you have a Germania Major and Germania Minor now.
Strike 1. How in the hell can Russia be a part of the 7 heads? Just analyze.
I didn't know that the young elder was going to go through that. So, but you're hearing it again.
Is this? If you're in the IUIC, you listening to this video. All right, just listen. How can Russia be a part of the 7 heads and 10 horns, which the 7 heads and 10 horns is NATO in the EU? It's a revival of the Roman Empire. when when Russia does not submit to NATO and the EU.
NATO, if you go to a dictionary back in the 80s, the encyclopedia, and you look up the word NATO, you know what they did? It says the NATO alliances were formed because of Russia, because Russia was considered a military might. You had two back in the day. You had two world powers, the United States and Russia. What made them powers? Their military might. So America was like, I don't know, if we go against Russia, we could lose. But if we have this alliance, if Russia attacks one nation, then it's like Russia attacked all nations. They changed that. If you go to the dictionary, matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? Let me do this. But you got to go to an old dictionary from maybe the 70s or the 80s. And they told you that it was formed to combat Russia. I was kind of, I asked what is the word rich, which I knew what it meant. I just wanted to verify bruja, because I wanted to call this chick bruja in Spanish, just to mess with this Simeonite chick. Anyway, I'm sorry. Let me ask you this. Why was the NATO alliance formed? The North Atlantic Treaty Organization was formed in 1949 to provide collective security against this. Okay, boom, it's still there. Oh yeah, good, it's still there. Because now, if the Iranians attack the NATO nation, then they're obligated to come together, which that's not why it was set up. It was only set up for Soviet Russia because of the military might that they had. Okay, so now you know. So how in the hell can the seven heads, one of them be Russia, when they set up this alliance to combat the Russia? Doesn't make sense. So he doesn't know how to go. He doesn't know how to go into these historical accounts. He doesn't know how to filter them through the scriptures. He just makes it willy nilly. He just wings it, man. That's the original wingmaster. Let me just close these. And the ones that you can't see it, you're not supposed to see it because you're zombies. Let me close this. Bottom line, he knows that we're telling the truth.
What would you say if I told?
Let me see. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Let's come back over here. Here we go.
Remember, this beast system is a system that's linked militarily, economically, and politically. How can Russia be a part of the 7 heads and 10 horns when Russia is not linked with NATO and the EU militarily, economically, and politically? And remember, this beast system is a revival of the Roman Empire. It's a revival of the Roman Empire. Russia didn't descend from Rome. Okay? Russia didn't descend from Rome. All right? If anything, Russia, came into power, somewhat after the like the Byzantine and the Byzantine Empire. You know, now, of course,
Say that again. It was during the Byzantine Empire. Jakes founded Russia, 865 AD, circa 865 AD. Matter of fact, you know what I'm gonna do? Let me do this. What year was Russia founded? Okay, so they're saying Russia. Right, Russia. Yep, that's the new Russia, formerly the USSR. It was refounded, right, because it collapsed. USSR collapsed and it reemerged as Russia. Okay, so now Russia's founding is traditionally dated to 862 AD with the establishment of the Rus state, which is a Hebrew word, in the north by the Varangians, which were Jake, the first unified state, Kievan Rus. Let me look this up, see if it pops up. Nope. Arose in the 9th century later, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I said it. Russia's founding is traditionally dated to 862 AD with the establishment of the Rus state. Ra'ash means head or chief. Let me see. Let me ask another question. What people founded the Russian state? They're not giving it to me right. Slavic. Let me do this. Let me do it this way. Did the Scythians found Russia? There we go. Scythians. No, the Scythians, often historically referred to the Scyths, or Scyths did not found Russia, while Scythians were ancient, nomadic, equestrian people who inhabited parts of southern Russia and Ukraine from roughly the 9th to the 3rd century BC. How did I get the fucking BC? They were not considered the founders of Russian state. Let me do this. I'm sorry. Let me just do this. I'm doing some research. These Scythians. Okay, the Scythians. Let's see what happens. Hey, I looked this up before. Scythians were fierce, nomadic, equestrian, rode horses, people of eastern Iranian origins who dominated the Eurasian steppes, modern-day Ukraine, Russia, and Central. Let me do this. And 862 AD. AD. Let's see what comes up. Scythians were a nomadic equestrian people of Indo-European origin who dominated the East Eurasian steppe, particularly north of the Black Sea, from roughly 800 BC to AD. By 862 AD, the classical Scythian culture had long ceased to exist, having been replaced by the subsequent nomadic groups like the Sarmatians. Wow, they give me different history, man. They changed it up on me. They changed it up. But bottom line is, the Russians were not a part of. They be changing up sometimes. Anyway, I'm sorry. Just come on back. I'm sorry, y'all.
Elder apostles.
That's why you got to go. That's why you got to go. You got to go into that history, and then you got to filter it through the scriptures. If Nate really went into the history, he would know that the first emperor of Rome was not Septimius Severus 192 AD. The first emperor was a man by the name of Nerva in 96 AD. I keep saying it to keep that in my mind. You keep repeating history, you remember it.
Russia, came into power, somewhat after the like the Byzantine and the Byzantine Empire. Now of course Elder Apostle Tahar goes into it. How the Scythians, which were Jake, were up in Russia before. All right, but the whole concept of the beast system is being united politically, economically, and militarily. So that's strike one. You're already going off. Russia's not a part of the seven heads written about in Revelation 13. Okay? But let's continue.
The 10 horns is Belgium, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Italy, Greece, France, Denmark, Ireland, Germany. I can't see that bottom one. But that's it right there. Go back, Leon.
So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast,
Red.
full of
Scarlet
names.
means red. Scarlet means red.
Yes, sir.
Because these are Edomites. Go ahead.
Full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and
These are Edomites. These are Edomites. All right, but Bishop Nathaniel, are you to according to what you said, a few weeks ago, we're not to hate the Edomites. We don't hate them. God hates them. We don't hate nobody. Anyways.
10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand.
In her hand. And you're going to stress that. In her hand. Go ahead.
Having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filth.
You see how they're stressing hand? He said we're going to stress that hand, right? But we're going to continue.
Filthiness of her fornication.
So in her hand was abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Give me one word, brothers.
Sin.
Sin. Next verse.
You heard the zombies? Give me one word. Sin. Sin, right?
Them guys are zombies. Hey, you right on that. They are zombies. And that includes Kanai Gabar. I call him Carl Kanai. And Yawasop. Yawasop is a major zombie. Yawasop is sincere. He's a sincere brother. But he's a zombie. He's a sincere zombie. We laugh at these guys. I listen to them. I look forward to listening to them, especially Nate, because it's comedy to me. Comedy to me.
And filthiness of her fornication. Give me one word, brothers.
Sin.
Sin. Next verse.
You heard the zombies?
Give me one word, brothers. Sin. Sin.
Zombies. Give me one word. Sin. Sin, right? Let's continue. It doesn't even break it down. They just, sin is such, just saying just that is sin, okay? Sin is such a broad term.
Like I said, who has it? I'm lost for words here. Who has the beast? If we're under this a prophecy right now, and it means that sin is the beast. How in the hell, how in the F can you go to the store, Nate? You got to buy food. If you don't buy food, your wife got to buy food. You got to buy materials to make garments to sell to these suckers. I mean, brothers and sisters. You got to buy toothpaste. You got to buy soap. You got to buy food. You got to go shopping. Oh, the two brothers I ran into, I ran into them in front of BJ's in Pelham. So were they under sin? How were they able to get it? They had a whole hand truck full of shit, you know. How the hell do you get on hopping them planes? You don't get on them planes. You don't say, I'm Bishop Nate. Let me up on this plane, you know. And he's Bishop Nate. Let him up on the plane. You don't got to pay nothing because that would be sin. It says buy or sell. What does sin have anything to do with buying and selling?
Okay, sin is such a broad term. Now we understand and know what the scriptures say about sin, how, you know, a sin is the transgression of the law. But my question would be to the IUIC, if the mark of the beast is sin, which we're gonna let the video play. Salaki, we're gonna let the video play. But if the mark of the beast is sin, what sin is it predicated to whereas you will be put to death? Because not all sin is punishable unto death. Okay? Now the wages of sin is death, but
wait a minute. Now, if you knowingly go before a woman that's on a period, do you know you just sin? Do you know you just sin, right? There's certain sins that you don't even realize that you commit. You might eat a product that has pork in it. Because you know they use, like, certain pills that you take, certain vitamins and stuff. If it's in what do you call it, gel casing or whatever, or a cap. If it's in the cap form, you got to look at it. When we buy a lot of stuff from the health food stores, and we got to always look at the label. And it got to say on the thing, it got to say vegan. What does it say? Vegan caps, whatever. Sometimes it don't say that. You go to the back. If it says what is it? Gelatin, then it's either bovine or swine. They don't tell you. We had this one company, we got these pills, so we actually called them. It took us about a half an hour to get through, and they had to go do a research, and they said we wanted to know whether the caps was. They said it was gluten. We didn't know if it was bovine or swine, and I believe they came back to us and they said it's bovine. Now most of your caps, those caps, a lot of them have made with gelatin, and sometimes it's pork. So you don't know. You have no idea. Sometimes you buy turkey sausage. What is it? Hillshire Farms. They had turkey sausage, but you know what? It's all turkey, but the skin is pork, and it's not on. It's nowhere on the nutritional label. So I had to even call them, and I had to set up. I had to get a case number, and then they would get back with me. Then they got back with me, and they said it's pork. So here you are talking about, oh, I'm eating turkey sausages, not realizing that the casing is pork. So you done broke that law. So that means you got the mark of the beast.
But it's every single...
And you're painting everything. It's sin. It's sin. Like I said, you laying with your woman in the bed. She wakes up. She's bleeding. Guess what? You're unclean. So that's a sin. So how in the hell can you avoid sin? Like the young elders, the young up and coming elder said. You know, there's sins not unto death.
sin that you commit, every single transgression that you commit, is it worthy of death? The answer is no. So what sin is it predicated to? But once again, wait, there's more. As we like to say, shout out to Elder Mike Oliver. But wait, there's more. Let's listen.
And upon her forehead was a name written.
So upon her forehead, there's a name written in her mind. It's about her mind of America. Go ahead.
Mystery.
Mystery.
Babylon the Great.
Why does it say mystery? Because a lot of people don't realize America is Mystery Babylon.
And it's a mystery to you that you don't know what the mark of the beast is.
Go ahead.
Mystery. Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
And abominations of the earth. That's why America's pushing same-sex, transgenderism worldwide. They're pushing that everywhere. Okay? That's her. So we go back to Revelation 13 now.
Here we go.
And what verse? Verse 16 again?
Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16.
The notorious verse. Here it is. All right, here it is. All right, Elder Apostle Tahar, you know what I'm saying? He's been going into it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. He's been going, beginning with Elder Apostle Tahar on down. It's been countless numbers of MOTV videos that have been going up day after day.
And I didn't get up in the morning saying, let me go ahead and do another video on the mark of the beast. But this came up in my feed.
After day after day. Why? Because this is the next major prophecy that's getting ready to happen. Before World War III pops off and nuclear missiles start flying, ICBMs going back and forth, this prophecy has to happen first. Okay? Now, I'm just going to say this, right? With Iran being prevalent in the news, Russia being prevalent in the news, the state of Israel being exposed, and America being prevalent in the news with Donald J. Trump talking about, you know, a strike in Iran, and Israel talking about striking Iran without America, you know, just without America knowing, them doing it. This proves how close we are to the MOTB. Remember, the scripture says, of the times and of the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. Understanding and knowing the times that we're in right now, the mark of the beast is extremely close to being implemented. Very, very close. They're systematically crashing the dollar. You're seeing the price of...
You know what? If somebody could go up to Bishop Nate and get the chip, because I had a chip somewhere in the house. I had brothers from Cali send it to me. It's in a case. I got an actual microchip. And I did a video on it, showing it. I don't know where the hell. It's somewhere in my bedroom. I mean, if I look, I'll find it. I didn't throw it away. But if one of these zombies, I hate to call them zombies, but they are zombies. If one of these zombies asks the question, what is this all about? These people getting actually chipped. What is that all about? Where's that? Got to be in the scriptures. Especially if billions of people get it. If billions of people get it, you know the C Ragamuffin, billions of people got hit. Maybe whether 4 billion, 6 billion. You got anywhere from 8 plus billion people. That's a lot of people too. Billions of people got that, and hundreds of millions of people died from taking that. There were a number of people that died in IUIC from the C Ragamuffin because they took the thing. Because he mentioned it. He mentioned either 20 or 22 people during the year of 2022 during the Passover. He either said 20. If you go to IUIC 2022 Passover, he mentions how many people died from the thing. Now, one person died in GMS. Why is that? Because the people that died from the thing is from the shot, which he said he gave him the go ahead to take it. General Yohana said go ahead and he gave an order. You got to take it. You got to take it. So we know where he stands. We know exactly where he stands.
Gold and silver skyrocket at this time. Why is gold and silver skyrocketing? Because the value of the dollar is going down. It ain't that shit is just getting more expensive. Now things are getting more expensive, but that's what it is. That's what pretty much what Gersham's law means. Like what Gersham's law is that you pretty much have the bad money pushes out the good money.
Good, you've been listening. You've been listening to young Padawan. Anyway, yeah, Gersham's law. You want to talk to a financier? You see if he's a real financier. Man, I said, what's Gersham's law? Gersham's law means bad money pushes out good money. Bad money is fiat currency. When they make these dollar bills, prices don't. The prices are going up. Everything going up. No, the value of the money is going down. I mean, look it up. Look it up, nigga. See, we studies, brah. What is Gersham's law? Gersham's law is an economic principle stating that bad money drives out good money. Now, if it doesn't tell you what it means, I'm gonna tell you what it means. I'm gonna give you the perfect example. Gersham's law is bad money drives out good money. When two forms of commodity, what is a commodity? Silver, gold, copper, pig bellies, lumber, aluminum, bauxite, coal. When two forms of commodity, money with unequaled intrinsic value are mandated to have the same face value. Do you know what that would mean? During the gold standard, if you had a $20 gold certificate, you can go to the bank, and the bank ask the bank teller, give me a coin, give me a gold coin. They give you a troy ounce of gold for $20. Gold certificate. They got the $20 bill looking like a $20 gold certificate, but it's not. So people don't understand. They got paper. It's not the same paper. So I hope y'all with me, right? So they're giving you $20. I said, $20 can't buy you shit today. It might be able to buy you a 6-pack of beer. You gonna get maybe $3 back. You get a 6-pack of Heineken, you might get shit. You might get $5 back. So a gold coin, which is it went up to almost 6,000, but they manipulated behind the scenes. They manipulated the gold and silver market. They were doing it. It came out that way. When I watch these videos, financial based videos, I said, nah, this shit doesn't happen. And manipulating the money. Anyway, a $20 gold certificate, if they were to use it to this day, they never went off the gold standard, you can buy something for $5,000. That's why back in the day, to rent an apartment might have cost you $10 a month. Ford Motor Company, Henry Ford, which I believe he's a Jake, he hated the small hats. He wrote a book called The International Jew, where he cursed them out. And anytime you purchase a brand new Ford, you got that book, because they fucked him over. So I believe he's a Jake. Anyway, he did what was instituted a thing called the $5 day. People are looking at $5. The $5 ain't nothing, because you don't know money, dumbass. A $5 a day would be, if it was applied today, what is it? It's rounded off to 6,633. That's pretty much like $1,500 a day. Let's round it off to 1,000. That's $1,000 a day. That's what kind of money. The $5 a day back in 1920 is equivalent to about 1,000, really more than 1,000 a day. That's why in America they were living good. They were living good, man. And the other nations hated them, because that's when you had these 2-week vacations, 4-week vacations, and you would go to Europe, because they had the money to do that. The U.S. dollar was way more powerful than any dollar on the planet. So y'all don't understand how money works. Bad money bad money drives out good money, meaning what? The more fiat currency that you put in the system, the more the prices go up because the money loses value. And then people think that gold is not going up. It's just adjust for inflation. It's very simple. And even economists don't even understand. Like I said, let me run into an economist. Let me ask you a question. And if he's a real economist, he will answer. I said, let me ask you a question, sir. You said I major in it. What year? I'm in my second year, and I'm not in grad school. So you know about the economy, right? Yes. Let me ask you a question. Define Gresham's law. If you can't define it, man, sit down somewhere. As Almadella Shakur would say, go find some place to sit down. Yeah, to shout her out. Anyway, let me see. I'm all over the place, but there's lessons within lessons. People get all messed up over this money thing because they don't understand money. And guess who? And guess why? The school system, which I call the fool system. The school system is set up to dumb you down. That's all. That's all.
What is the good money? Gold, silver, precious stones, right? Really gold and silver right now. But the bad money pushes that out. So whereas people will hoard onto the good money, and the bad money continues to go in circulation. That's what Gresham's law is. So it's not necessarily the price of...
That's why in 33, FDR confiscated the gold. Now, if you watch these different YouTube pages that they deal with silver and gold and the economy, a bunch of them said they might do it again. They have to do it because they got to get... And then back then, there were people that were saying, nah, I ain't giving them shit. People gave it in, but they got their money. They got the money's worth in paper dollars, which was still good. But then years go by where they keep printing money. This is why Nixon took the 71. He took the gold off of the gold standard, and that had to do with the French and Germany wanting their gold. They didn't have the gold. That's fractional reserve banking. You know, you got to talk about money. Money's men and women get together and get divorced because of money issues, man. You making good money. You a drug dealer, right? Your woman ain't leaving you. Your woman ain't leaving. You a drug kingpin or whatever. Ain't a woman when she ain't a nigga that play in the NFL, the NBA. You know, all them fine ass women, they come to the damn draft because they know that's future money. When you get drafted, that's money. You understand? So in the kingdom, we're going to have everything. There's not going to be any reason for a woman to want to leave us. Period. There's not going to be any... We're going to have... The rods are going to be back to nature, back to life. And they're going to be happy. They're going to be barefoot, pregnant, and happy about it. That's another one of my sayings. One of the quotes of Apostle Tahar.
Goods getting expensive, more expensive. It's just the value of the dollar is just going down rapidly. That's what that is. Okay, but anyways, let's go.
And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
So that mark is sin. Go ahead. And how they going to...
All right, he said that is sin. Salaki, I know I paused it. I'm going to let it play one more time. You heard him. The mark is sin. The mark is sin. Let's listen.
13 and verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
So that mark is sin. Go ahead. And how they going to enforce that? Go ahead.
And that no man might buy or sell.
So they're going to use a digital currency.
There it is. So now the mark is sin.
This nigga, it took you this many years, more than 10 years, to use the word digital currency? Let me bring that back. Let me bring that back, y'all. Let me bring that back. He never said that. He never mentioned money. He never mentioned digital. It's gonna be a digital. This guy's looking like he's a little baby, man. You know how you have any of y'all that have children, or you have a girl that has a son or whatever, and they want to drive, and you let them sit in the seat with you, and you drive the car, and they think that they drive. That's this dude. That's this dude. He's Junior Nate, and he driving. He ain't driving, man. We driving. He ain't never mentioned no thing about money, digital. The dude, man. You zombies better wake up. You zombies better wake up. If he says digital, it's digital. He said if he says the market of beast chip, don't take it. Yeah, shalom. Right, brothers. Right, shalom. Most High in Christ bless. Y'all look at him like the deep teaching of Nate. We're looking at you for comic relief. Remember when the Chappelle show? Every nigga was watching the Chappelle show. Do you like the Chappelle show? It's a comedy to you. More Chappelle show. Have them two niggas, one playing the ukulele and the other one playing harmonica, and then Nate pops up. More Chappelle show. She looked like Chappelle.
Causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
So that mark is sin. Go ahead. And how are they going to enforce that? Go ahead.
And that no man might buy or sell.
So they're going to use a digital currency.
There it is. So now the mark is sin.
This guy's this dude is a trip. He's a whole fucking trip. I can't. He's teaching what we've been teaching for years. It's no longer nations and countries, big nations and small nations, great nations and small nations, rich nations and poor nations. It has nothing to do with people. Let's read the 17th verse. That's a digital currency. Are y'all listening, man? Are y'all listening? And the water to the elder, young up-and-coming elder that put this video together, it's something that we already know. You're just looking at it in a different light. And like I said, I'm going to go to the chat. All right? He's the first. Give Bishop Nate a hand. Give him a hand. He's coming around. He said there's hope for this man. He said digital currency.
But they're going to use a digital currency. This is exactly what Bishop Nathaniel just said. We're not putting words into his mouth. I didn't alter the.
If you sin, you get the digital. You get the UBI, Universal Basic Income. You keeping the laws. You look to get that Universal Basic Income, and it's a blank check. You get the check. I remember the IRS took my money. You'll give you a check, it'll be zeros on that shit. You know. I called the IRS. I cursed them the fuck. I said, "You motherfucking thieves."
This video with AI. This is exactly what Bishop Nathaniel said. The mark is sin, and they're going to implement a digital currency.
Buying and selling, that's how they're going to force people to break God's laws. Read that again.
How fucking stupid. Yawasop, wake your ass up. Yawasop, please wake up. Wake the hell up. He's teaching what we've been teaching for years. What he's teaching now, the few words that he just said, we said that more than 10 years ago. We said that when we first got on YouTube.
Did y'all just hear that?
I heard it. He knows that we're right. What have I been saying in the last couple of videos? What have I been saying? I've been saying, if you listen to me, I've been saying that he knows that the mark of the beast is the microchip. He knows that we're breaking it down exactly the way it's supposed to be broken down. He knows it. But now it's starting to come up. His lips are betraying his mind. He has to say it now. And remember, y'all, ladies and gentlemen and ladies, he watches all our videos. He knows, but he can't say it because he either took the bag or he's got too much pride in him. He said, if I say it's a market, it has nothing to do with sin, it's an actual microchip, digital system, CBDC, If I say that, certain zombies are going to wake up and say, wait a minute, GMS been teaching that. Are the men of GMS truly bums, or are they the prophets of the Lord? They're the prophets of the Lord. Let's see if we can get, let's see if Tahar has mercy on us and allows us to be in their camp. You see them guys marching, them guys is an army of zombies. An army of zombies. Matter of fact, let me do this. Okay, I don't need him. Oh, that's my man right there. Okay, let's do this. You want to see an army of zombies? There was a movie that came out. It was like a comedy. It was called Army of the Dead. It was a good movie. It was a comedy, you know? Army of the Dead. Guess what? This is the Army of the Dead right here. And my main man Vocab put this up. So here we go. The Army of the Dead. And I'm not snapping, I'm being honest.
Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem, Yahshai Bashem, Kakodah, Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of you elect up there, Shalom to you all. To make this a super quick video.
Trying to put this up.
Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, Did the IUIC Get Rid of the Northern Kingdom? Now, that's all I got to say. I'm going to let you watch and listen to this video. That they had a march on the day of Super Bowl. I guess this is in California. Super Bowl was in California, was it? I didn't even watch it this year. I did see the Bad Bunny halftime show, but I didn't the day after, because the Super Bowl fell on a Sabbath, new moon, based upon the moon cycle. The Sabbath was on a Sunday night. The new one's coming up next. What is it next? Give me a second. Anyway, let me just go ahead and play this. It's not important. So watch.
This is how we roll. Behold the army of the dead. You see zombies on this side, you see zombies. This got to be at least 2,000 men, and I guarantee you, they're from all over the country. I guarantee you, they put the order in. These guys got to get on the plane, pay the money, going and coming. They got to pay for the hotel. They got to come out of their pocket, man. I know Bishop ain't picking up the tab. I got. But you can tell me, no, we pick up the tab. That's okay, I'm wrong. But guess what? These are zombies, man. This is the army of the dead. Let me do this. Let me do this here. Let me show you something. Movie, Army of the Dead. Wait a minute, what the hell? This is not what I want. Okay, this is it right here. This is the this is the movie right here, if I'm not mistaken. Is this the movie? I'm sorry. There's another movie that came out called this by the same Army of the Dead. Zombie Massacre. Damn, where's that goddamn movie? Don't even play. Don't. Let me try this one. Let me try this one. Yeah, the army of the dead were all skeletons that had swords in their hands. Anyway. Let me come back over here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Come back over here. Please forgive me.
I'm going to run it back one more time. I'm not even going to even interrupt him. 10 seconds. We're going to go back.
And no man might buy or sell.
So they're going to use a digital currency, buying and selling. That's how they're going to force people to break God's laws.
So, according to Bishop Nathaniel, the mark is sin, and they're going to implement a digital currency to force people to break the Most High's laws, to break Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's laws. So Babylon the Great, the mother of all harlots, the land of confusion, that's pushing the philosophies that are against Yahweh Bashem Yahushai worldwide, is going to implement a digital currency which is going to force people to break the law? I'm gonna let him.
Yeah, this is utter stupidity from this guy. This is utter stupidity. But he has a captive audience. He got an audience of zombies. He trained them well. Whatever stupid statements that he makes, they're gonna follow.
Continue.
Gotta get verse 17.
And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark.
Like in Uganda. Uganda said, we don't accept LGBT. They said, you cannot buy or sell. Y'all see it in the news?
Uganda.
What? What the fuck is this nigga talking about? Uganda is still buying and selling. What the hell are you talking about, man? The fuck is this guy talking about? This is nothing but psychobabble. How do you sleep at night, Bishop Nate? How do you sleep at night? Knowing that you're deceiving these people, knowing that the correct breakdown of the mark of the beast is the way we break it down. How the fuck do you sleep at night, man?
That's what he just said, right? Let's go here, right? Let's go here and say, in Uganda.
I knew you was gonna do that.
In Uganda, can you still buy and sell if you do not accept LGBT, if you don't accept LGBTQ morals? I'll put it like that. Let's just see what it says. Let's just see what Google says. An anti-LGBTQ law in Uganda is hurting the economy. Oh, damn, this is the New York Times, so it's not going to be able to let me, because I got to sign up. This is June 29, 2023. Uganda passed one of the world's harshest anti-GAY laws. LGBTQ people describe living there as hell. Let's see what it
Good.
says here. In between leading Sunday services at All Saints Cathedral in Ugandan capital, Kampala, Reverend Canon John Owadi, this is 2023, declares vehemently that homosexuality is a sin that must be repented of, adding that it is against the order of the Most High, which is the law. Okay? Man shall not sleep, with man as he sleeps with a woman. It's an abomination, and their sin they shall be put to death, right? Homosexuality is not natural, it is unnatural. That is the stand of the church here. But let's see if it says anything that says you can't buy or sell. This is 2023, by the way. I'm skimming through it very quickly, by the way, and I'm looking, and I don't believe I'm missing anything. Don't see anything as of yet. Because in Uganda, it talks about the death penalty. Let's see. Bear with me.
Let me ask this question. Does Uganda do international trade with any country? Yes, Uganda actively engages in international trade with numerous countries, maintaining an open trade regime with key partners like the UAE, or the United Arab Emirates, China, India, Kenya, and Tanzania. So let's bring it back to Nate again. What did he say? He said that if you refuse to sin, he used the example of Uganda, that they're gonna cut you off. They're doing trade with China. Matter of fact, Brazil, there was a thing in Brazil that Brazil is dealing exclusively with China. So yes, they do international trade. If they're doing trade with China, they don't need America. And all these other nations are beginning to understand that. They said, we don't need America. We can deal with China. China makes everything. Let me see. Give me a second. Let me put this in my head. Oh. Brazil's, I'm sorry, do it again. Economic deal between Brazil and China. Brazil and China have strengthened their economic partnership with China, maintaining its position as Brazil's largest trading. Brazil's a huge country. Brazil is considered the lungs of the earth. Trading partner since 2009. Recently, 2025, 2026. Development includes agreement on infrastructure, agriculture, trade, soy, beef, coffee, technology, and a 27.69 billion currency swap to boost bilateral trade using local currencies. Now, what's this guy? Damn, he's a secretary, the Cuban guy. I can't even remember his name. Cuban guy with the big ears from Florida. He's on the cabinet of Trump, and he made a statement. He said that Brazil is now making an exclusive deal with China, and other nations are following suit. And he said in 5 years we won't be able to sanction anybody because the nations are cutting America off. Trump did this thing with Venezuela to control the oil from oil not going to China, because that was the whole deal. The whole thing was all about. Excuse me, I'm mumbling. Cuba been suffering. Now Cuba is really suffering because they got oil they had a deal with Venezuela. Trump the U.S. had sanctions to this day, going back to all the presidents. They never cut sanctions off from Cuba. Let me go to that. I'm sorry, I'm going into some history and geography, geopolitics. Does the U.S. have sanctions against Cuba? Cuba. United States embargo against Cuba. A sanction is another word for embargo. Embargo is another word for sanction. United States embargo against Cuba is an embargo preventing U.S. businesses and citizens from conducting trade or commerce with Cuban interests since 1960. So from 1960 to this day, all these the good Obama, he didn't reverse the sanctions, and then they put more sanctions because by pretty much Venezuela is being occupied by the U.S. So Venezuela, for lack of another term, Venezuela is a state of the U.S. because they got sanctions. They'll put sanctions on them. So being that they took the president out and his wife, which is the president, and they put up a puppet, the woman, they put her up as a new president, he can say what goes where Venezuela can give oil to. So they cut China and they cut Cuba, and Cuba is definitely suffering from that because Batista came in, 59, he was taken out. Fidel came in, and he immediately made a deal with the Russians. So when they made the deal with the Russians, the U.S. said, okay, embargo, we're not dealing with Cuba. So that means that I guess Cuba doesn't have the mark of the beast. China doesn't have the mark of the beast. I'm sorry, y'all. Here we go. I'm sorry for cutting this thing off.
I'm skimming through it as I'm looking.
So everything we're talking about is centered around Revelation 13 and 16. Everything we're talking about is centered around Revelation 13 and 16.
There's nothing that shows that in Uganda, if you don't accept the LGBTQ agenda, that you can't buy and sell. Let's run this back.
That again, verse 17.
And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the...
It says man. It doesn't say country, and it doesn't say company.
mark.
Like in Uganda. Uganda said, we don't accept LGBT. They said, you cannot buy or sell. Y'all see it in the news. That's on a major level. But they're going to start doing it with every so-called citizen or denizen in America as well. Read it.
Right. That's for the digital.
This guy does, this shit is a comedy, man. And you notice he mentioned, he's been doing some studying. He said he's going to do it with every citizen and denizen. Now, I'm going to tell you what a denizen is. A denizen is, let's say somebody in Jamaica, their parents moved to the U.S., he's 4 years old. From 4 years old up, he don't have a Jamaican accent or nothing. He act like a regular Jake. He just like Jake, just like Judah. He might as well be Judah from down south, but he's not born here. But he's like he's a citizen. But he's a what's the word, natural citizen, whatever the term is. You know, when you get citizenship, that means you're a denizen. That means you technically here, but if Trump wanted to kick you out, he can use, go around laws to get you out of there. Because a lot of these Mexicans are denizens. Some of them were born here. The parents are here. They're citizens or whatever. They got citizen status. They even got Social Security. There's denizens, but the children are born here. That's why Trump is trying to repeal the laws that even if you're born here, you got to go back. He has a true, deep, dark hatred for Israelites. He ain't saying nothing about the Arabs. He ain't saying nothing about Arab sleeper cells. All he's going after are the Jakes. He's going after them Hamites too. And he's a straight up racist, man. And they're not calling him out for it.
IDs about. All of that is to all your information gonna be there. So all you gotta do is press one button and shut down everything. Your bank, your school.
This sounded more like us. This sounded more like us. But it's based upon sin. It's based upon sin. How are you going to buy and sell, Bishop Nate? Are you telling the people there's going to be a time where if you're living in a house, they're going to kick? Oh, I own the house. No, you don't own shit. The government owns that house. That's why you pay. I'm going to show you that you don't own the house. You got to pay taxes on that house. Because you're renting the land under the house. And that goes back to Europe, feudal England, feudal Ireland. When you built the house, you paid the landlord. That's why it's called a landlord. You paid rent to rent the land to build your house on it. And if you didn't pay, you know what the landlord did? He burned your house down. And he could, by law, because you're on his land and you ain't paying the money. So this what do you call it? The property tax, that goes back to Europe. That's feudalism. People don't even understand that.
Now they talking about the digital ID.
They're pretty much sounding like us. They're pretty much explaining that there's going to be they're going to use dirt. They're going to do away with the paper dollar, and they're going to make what's called a digital dollar only. And it's not going to be to your bank. It's going to be to a central bank, which is a U.S. central bank through the Federal Reserve. I don't know how they're going to do it, but there's going to be a central world bank, which is supposed to be based out of London, because that's the financial city-state. Got the financial city-state. You got the spiritual city-state, which is a Roman Catholic Church or Vatican City. You got London. And then you got the military, city-state, which is D.C., which is the Pentagon. Those are the three unclean spirits like frogs. Come out of the mouth of the dragon, London, out of the mouth of the false prophet, Roman Catholic Church, and all the baby churches, and out of the mouth of the beast, which is Langley. I believe Pentagon is Langley, Virginia, but it's Washington itself. That's why they're always the front in battle. When they go out for the European, it's always the U.S. is always in the front. The Vietnam conflict, it was France that was trying to take that land from the Viet Cong, and the U.S. didn't come in until late, and that's when they got all fucked up. That's when all the drug addicts came back.
So when it comes down to the chip, when it comes down to the MOTB actually being an actual implant, they gonna pretty much say that we've been telling you this the whole time, you morons.
And that's what he's slowly doing. That's what he's slowly doing. I hate to make this long, but I'm sorry.
We've been saying that it's been a chip all this time, you morons. Watch.
And them zombies will believe it too. The zombies, they'll say, well, we were teaching about the chip before. Y'all wasn't teaching the chip. If these guys ain't zombies, man, I don't know what to say.
Watch how Bishop Nathaniel and the IUIC spin it. Watch.
Or everything you can't try, you can't buy none.
17 again.
And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the.
You know what? These guys are organized. You know what I call them? An organized mess. IUIC is an organized mess.
Number of his name.
So you gotta accept sin.
And I'm fucking embarrassed. I get embarrassed for having to watch this bullshit. How can these people be so stupid?
Okay, in order.
you heard y'all hearing this? We have to accept sin. In order for you to buy and sell, you gotta accept sin. So
guess what? If that's the case, there's gonna be a lot of these zombies that's gonna leave you because they're not gonna be able to eat. Unless you have spiritual power, you make, like I said, when this system comes, if you own a house, you're gonna get put out of your house. If you own a car, you're not gonna have no car. You ain't gonna have no house, so you ain't gonna have a refrigerator. Where you gonna keep the food? And then you can't get food. You're gonna be ass out of the system. So what are you gonna do? And these zombies they're zombies.
You trying to tell me if I go to Kroger in that day, the cashier is gonna say, do you believe in Jesus Christ as your Lord and as your Savior? And if I say yes, they just
No, you got to believe in Jesus Christ. She's gonna pick out the picture of Caesar Borgia. You're gonna have to kiss it, and then you're gonna walk. No. You don't. No. We're not finished. What sin did you commit today? I looked at a woman's fat ass and I knew she was married. Okay, you can go. Like in the movie Monty Python, the Holy Grail with the troll. He said, before you pass this bridge you see, you must answer these questions 3. You got to watch the movie. Funny ass movie. Anyway, and in the movie they showed the Most High was in the movie, and the Most High was in Jake. And these are Edomites that put this movie together. The Most High just came out of nowhere with an afro, looking just like the ancient days in Daniel, Daniel 7 and 9. And he was cursing them out because they were bound down. He stopped groveling. You got to watch that movie. You probably could catch it. You probably could go on YouTube and get the scene. But you had the troll that said, before you pass this bridge you see, you must answer these questions 3. What is your name? What is your quest? What is your favorite color? Well, it's the same thing. I'm laughing. This dude is the new black Dave Chappelle.
just gonna deny me. I'm just gonna say no. No, I don't believe in Jesus Christ. Nah.
Well, you're gonna starve to death, my dude.
And get some food. You gotta accept sin. What sin? Which sin? Which ones? Is it the sin of adultery? Is it the sin of homosexuality? Is it the sin of
No, you can say, well, I woke up and my woman I didn't know she gonna get a period. I woke up, she was bleeding. I'm in the bed with her, and that's my sin. Okay, you committed sin. That's good. You lied to your wife asked you, do I look fat in this dress? You know goddamn well she looked fat in this dress. And you're going to say, no, baby, you look all right. You just sinned. So guess what? You can go to the car. Did you sin today? First of all, kiss the picture. Caesar Borgia. Kiss the picture. Okay, did you sin today? Yes, I sinned. What sin did you do? I lied. Give me details of the lie. My beautiful wife is a little overweight. She said, do I look fat in this dress? And I told her, no, you look absolutely gorgeous. And I was just I didn't want to have an argument. Okay, you can go. You can go.
Murder? Like which sin is it? Which one?
And they can control everything. And once they make their finances digital, they can.
Why is this guy's talking he's going into our talking points. 10, 12 years ago, he wasn't saying that. Now it's in the individual is his final, and he mentioned digital currency. He's sneakily, if that's a word, he's trying to put that in there like he always thought. If you listen to me closely, old morons, I did say they were going to put a microchip in everybody, you old morons. This dude's a trip. He's a whole trip.
Can control what you eat as well. Let's say you want to buy some lamb. They say, nope, this money, you can only use it for GMOs. Once it's federal. They can.
No. You saw that damn AI movie that somebody put up. That the Chinese woman, they said that you need more protein in your diet. She went to get a steak, and they said your credits, because of your credits, you can only get mealworms. This guy, he's winging it. He's the original wingman. These are wings. These are wings right here. So he's the wingmaster. Silver and gold shall not save thee in that day. See all that gold? Silver and gold shall not save thee in that day.
Control everything. And if they see you teaching the street, they're going to shut him down. He's breaking the law. Shut him down. Boom. That's what they do. And they're going to try to use that to force us to break God's commandments. But it ain't going, it might work.
Y'all hear how broad this is?
No, you hear how stupid this is.
They're gonna use the digital ID to force people to break the commandments. Please make this make sense. Make that make sense.
On some of y'all, but ain't gonna work on the rest of us.
Hey, even YouTube page like those.
And this blockhead, I like him though, Deacon Malachi. I like this brother, but brother, you know you live in a lie. You know good and goddamn well that it's the microchip. You know good and goddamn well that GMS is 100% correct. You know that, man. So what are you doing sitting there, Deacon Malachi? You sitting there living a lie. You know that but you can buy shit because that's a sin. Because you live in a lie. You know? He don't want to get that purple taken from him. He don't want them to talk shit about him. That's why he still sticks around. You know that you're living a lie. And he know that he living a lie.
Those of y'all that got YouTube pages, Facebook pages, everything gonna be in one. You understand? You're gonna meet the point where you see how we on YouTube teaching right now. That's gonna stop. Okay, for you YouTube Israelites, you Facebook Israelites, it's gonna stop. Okay, because they're gonna come down on us hard, and they're gonna try to stop this word from going out. Okay, and if and they're gonna shut down all these YouTube accounts that we got set up. You know, we're gonna gotta hit the streets back to the old way.
And get
If you hit the streets and they see you, you go to get something to eat, they're gonna say, "Wait a minute, no. You was out in the street today preaching the Bible. Yeah, you put that stuff back. Put that stuff back." So they're just making it up as they go along.
guess what? It's not.
So he's saying we're gonna have to hit. Hold on a second. Let's hear it again.
That means, wait a minute, if they gotta hit the streets, Nate haven't been on the streets in years. So he might just freeze to death. Oh, Kanai, Gabar, he haven't been on the streets. Yawasop, Bishop Yawasop, he hasn't been on the street. Deacon Ethan, he goes on the street. I get teaching a lie, because he's living a lie too. Deacon Ethan, the tallest guy in IUIC, he's living a lie. He knows that the mark of the beast is a chip because he told me. He sent me. He told me. He said, "Yeah, you're right, Tahar." He told me that I believe it was 2016, and I did videos on it.
From going out. Okay, and if and they're gonna shut down all these YouTube accounts that we got set up. We're gonna gotta hit the streets back to the old way.
So he's saying they're gonna shut down the YouTube accounts and all that. Then we're gonna have to hit the streets back to the old way. Nigga, you should already be on the streets. The scripture says what?
None of them niggas ain't on the streets. They got the zombies that go on the streets.
Make full proof of thy ministry. This goes.
They go on the streets, and you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna send vocab on your ass. They're gonna say, "I know what's gonna get him off the street. Vocab alone. Send vocab."
Show you that they don't go out there in the highways and byways no more, man. Even when it's hot outside. What?
Right, I missed that. See, that went over my head. We're gonna have to go back on the streets. Y'all don't want to go on the streets. We gotta go. They don't go on the streets. Boy, oh my goodness! I'm gonna have a camera. I'm gonna go find out what Nate is. I said, "This is Nate. He hasn't been in the street in a long time. He looks a little nervous."
When was the last time you seen Bishop Nathaniel teach on the streets?
10 years ago, maybe. Shit, 10 years ago.
You don't. You see? This proves that they don't even go out there. They don't even go on the highways and byways no more. Thou sayest, you just heard him just say what he just said. We're going to have to go back to the old ways. We're going to have to go back to the streets. Nigga, you should already be on the streets.
Seek ye the old path. That's just what the scripture says. Let me see if I can find. I went through that deal. I should know it by heart, man. I hate that. Let me put in the old path. So that means when the mark comes, you got to seek the old path. Let me get it right. Old path. Is it path or path? Old paths. Old paths. Sound like a clothing company. Old path. Okay, here we go. I knew it was Jeremiah. I wasn't sure exactly. Thus saith Yahweh, stand ye in the ways and see and ask for the old paths. Where is the where is the good way? Meaning you're gonna have to go back on the highways and the byways. No more YouTube, no more Facebook, no more Clubhouse. And walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. Now we don't want to go back. Nate said, I want to go back outside. We went out to Kenya and we got rocks. I ain't going outside no more. You know? Seek ye the old path. So they should have pulled this scripture right here. Anyway, I'm having a little fun. I always have fun. You know, you're always going to have a good laugh when you watch the IUIC, especially Bishop Nate. He's the king of comedy.
Okay, what did Yahweh Shai say? He said what? Go onto the highways and hedges. Okay? Matthew 22, verse 8, it says, then saith he to his servants, the wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy. Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as you shall find, bid to the marriage. So you should already be out there on the streets, man. Okay? Hey, begin with you got Elder Apostle Tahar, Elder Apostle Gabar, Elder Apostle Rakha, Elder Apostle Aramlab, the bishops of Connecticut. Okay? The rest of the different elders and brothers like myself. When I say brothers, I'm not calling myself an elder. I'm saying brothers like myself, right? I'm including myself in that bunch. We are on the highways and byways, in season and out of season, man. Day in and day out, all seasons. You see? When have you ever heard the apostles say, you know what I'm saying, we don't gotta go out there, we don't gotta go out on the highways and byways no more, just do only YouTube videos. That's never going out. You see, our apostles is out there on the highways and hedges too. This goes to show that they're not out, that they don't go out there and preach, which is evident, obviously, especially with us being in the wintertime right now. You damn sure ain't finna see IUIC out there.
Yeah, we haven't. This is a new one on us. We haven't been out there in 3 weeks because it was bitterly cold this weekend, the weekend before that, and the weekend before that you had that snowstorm. That snowstorm was brewing, and that we never miss. If we miss 1 week, that's a lot. So it was a bitter winter, but Most High willing, it's going to be at least 35, which is still going to be a little cold, but not bitterly cold. Well, Most High willing, Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai Ratazah will be out there. And March is right up the block.
And guess what? It's not new. Hey, find me that in Ecclesiastes. The thing that hath been is that which shall be.
Anyways, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, sin is such a broad topic. It's such a broad term. You see? The mark of the beast is sin, and then they're going to implement a digital currency, and they're going to force you to break the Most High's laws. Like, you got to explain that, my guy. You got to explain that. Okay, because when you read Revelation 13, it describes a specific system, and it's an enforced mechanism. It's something that's going to be enforced upon you. Now, another thing, once again, so if you're saying that the mark of the beast is sin, does not the scripture say this in Romans 3? Let's get this real quick. Romans 3, and let's see. Slock it. Romans 3 and 23. It says, "For all have sinned and come short of the glory of the Most High."
Technically, that means you all have the mark. But this man said this. He said you can sin until the very point that Esau makes an announcement, you got to sin now. That's when you got to stop sinning. You know? So a week before that, you privy to the fact that Esau's gonna make that announcement. They're gonna make an announcement that everybody got to stop, got to continue to sin. So you get all your sins in. You say, let me commit suicide, adultery with this chick. Let me commit suicide. Commit adultery with that chick. Let me do this. Let me do this. You know, let me get paid. You know, you know. And then when announcement comes, you good. You just mortify your members pursuant to Romans chapter 8.
So if all have sinned, every single last one of us have sinned and broke the commandments and come short of the glory of Yahweh by Shem Shai. According to Bishop Nathaniel, we all got the mark. Now, my question to the IUIC is this. If the mark of the beast is sin, and according to Romans 3:23, that all have sinned, can you repent from receiving the mark? Can you repent from that? I would love to hear the answer. Okay? Because according to Bishop Nathaniel, everybody has a sin. Everybody has the mark. If everybody has the mark, which is sin according to them, there will be no need to there will be no need to enforce it. There will be no need to enforce the mark. If everybody's already sinned, there will be no need to enforce it. And if that's the case, buying and selling would already be restricted today. I bought something today.
Well, he is saying there's going to become a time that it's not here yet. So you're good. If you sin, you're good. But there's going to come a time. When that time comes, then you can start. He's kind of mixing his shit from 10, 12 years ago with some of the stuff that we teach. Now he's going into digital currency because he sees what we've been saying for years. Only people that don't see it are his zombies, are his trained zombies. That includes you, Carl Kanai.
Like, it would already be enforced. Come on, man. Come on now.
Come on, dog.
Governments don't base their commerce. They don't.
Wait a minute. Who they gonna get to enforce it? ICE? You know, you said that you committed adultery. They been watching you on camera. You ain't committed adultery today, and the ICE agent, use the back of his rifle to butt you in the head, and maybe shoot you a couple of times. Yo, brother. This is the new Dave. Nate is the new Dave Chappelle, man. Because this is a comedy.
They don't regulate their commerce based on righteousness. The governments that are in power today, through this Edomite system, they do not regulate commerce based on righteousness according to your righteousness on the law.
Because how can you know whether a person's sin or not, or whether he's lying about sin? Unless you got a camera on 9 billion people. You gotta have a camera on in different angles. You gotta have a camera in the kitchen, because you might commit sin in the kitchen. You might feel freaky, and you might commit adultery in the kitchen or whatever. So they're gonna have a camera. Do you see how stupid this shit sounds? You're gonna have to have a couple of cameras in the living room. You're gonna have a camera in your kitchen. You'll have the camera in your bathroom, in your bedroom. You're gonna have to have a camera in your car, just so they can monitor whether you sinned or not. And if you didn't sin that day, and you lied and you said that you sinned, they got you. They said, look, you haven't sinned today. Let me tell you what the guy, security guy, he put his hand around you. Let me tell you something. Let me explain something to you, brother. Just go on out there, go to a chick with a fat ass, ask her if she's married, smack her in the ass, squeeze it, and then come back and you get your stuff. It's just that easy. There's gonna be ICE agents. You go to the BJ's in Pelham, they got police, they got law enforcement all in the front and shit. All them other BJ's, they don't have that shit. That's the only motherfucker. This is wild out there. Anyway, boy, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy, man. I can't. I pay to see the faces of Nate when he's got to really explain it. But he's talking like us. Maybe he wants to be member GMS. Hey Nate, you're invited. You just got to dress up like a bum.
That's not how it's done. Let's just cut the bullshit. All right? Let's just cut the bullshit. Let's all just be grown ass men. All right? And really understand what
you know they can't be grown ass men. You know they can't be grown ass men.
This man is saying. Okay? And another thing. All right, the mark is received. You see? It's not committed to. You don't commit to the mark. It's something that you actually receive. When you commit a sin, all right, when you actually commit a sin, it's something that you're committed to doing, based on it being built up in you, for lack of better words. You know what I'm saying? But the mark is something you take. You see, you do sin, but the mark is something that you actually will take. Let's get wrong.
You have to go through the process of going down to a like if you go, okay, I had to renew my license, right? When you renew your license, they give you the eye test. What's that on line 10? And you be getting nervous because the older you get, the less your eyes get dimmer. But I read it and said, boom, you pass. They send you a letter. You don't got to go to the DMV. But the eye test, you can go to an eye store, you know, a guy that sells glasses and so forth, and you can do the eye test over there, which they might charge you some $10 or whatever. And then what you do is you submit it to the DMV, and you get your license in the mail. You don't got to go to the DMV. So, you know what I'm saying? There's got to be something that regulates whether, just like the eye test thing, there's something they got to regulate to know. It's the chip. They're going to read you through the chip. So it comes back to the chip. It comes back to the chip as a device. And by the way, sin is happening in China. It is sin. If you're not, there's a social credit system where it's like in the chip. If you do certain things at the government, you jaywalk, you get on a train, you can't get on a train because you jaywalked 2 hours ago. We got a picture of you. They actually take pictures of you in certain places in China, and they push you out the system. So is that how it's going to be, Nate? Because if what you say is true, you're going to be homeless. Your wife is going to, you know what your wife is going to do? She's going to say, how do I get this mark so I can eat? Your wife is going to abandon you, man. Because women ain't fucking loyal. Women ain't faithful. Job proved that with his wife. She was playing, yes, my Lord, until he lost everything. That's what she said. What did she say? She said, curse God and die. She said, give the Most High the finger, tell him to go F himself and just die. And he kept his integrity, which shows you what? A lot of these women, a lot of you brothers out there, a lot of you brothers out there that are on the highways and the byways, you doing the work of the Lord. You this, you that, you fast, you do all the right thing for the Lord. Your woman's in the truth. But then then it's time for her to get that mark. Guess what? She gonna get it, and you're gonna bug out, and you're gonna probably get it too. Some of you guys from the GMS is gonna get it, and I pray that I don't get it, that I don't fall weak. Look, are you ready to accept death? Fucking kill me, fucking chop my fucking head off, cause I'm going right into the spiritual realm. This is gonna smack you dead in the face. Like in the cold last week when it's real cold, you went outside, that fucking cold hit you in the fucking face. This thing is gonna hit you right in the face. And you're gonna have to eventually tell the truth. You're gonna have to face your congregation of zombies and tell them that you were wrong. Which slowly you are. You're kind of telling the truth. But you can thank us. The next time you do a video, give a shout out to the GMS for getting your mind right.
Let's get Revelation 14 real quick. Revelation 14:9. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, and in the presence of the Lamb. Excuse me. But the key word here is receive. Okay? That word receive here is lambano. If you receive the mark, all right, if you receive it, it says equivalent to let's see, to receive the mark of, let oneself be marked or stamped with. Let's read that nice and slow. Let oneself be marked or stamped with. So this is something that you have to receive, not be committed to. You commit to sin. You don't receive sin. You don't receive it. You commit yourself to sin. Because what is sin again? Sin is transgression of the law. It's something that's inward. Okay? When you receive the mark, it says let oneself be marked or stamped with. You see? That's the difference. Let's get Revelation 16:2. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. You see, because remember, you had to receive it. And this noisome and this noisome and grievous sore is a cancer. Let's get a few words here.
And the cancer is going to come from the fact that when you use that, it's going to be active. That chip in your right hand is going to be active when you go to a certain store, and that's anything. You can go to a bodega, they're going to have it set up where you have to scan your hand or you scan your forehead. So every time you do that, that's coming from the web, or if you're walking down the street, they know it. They're able to track you through what? Through the 5G. The chip is also a GPS, global positioning. What do you call it? Global positioning sensor, I believe you call it, GPS. So if you commit if they charge you with murder and you say you wasn't there, they say, well, wait a minute, your chip says that you was here at this time. This is when the murder took place. So they got you, man. And that's going to be a big deal pushing this thing. There's going to be a lot of pushback. And I'm going to say this again. I'm sorry if it sounds like a broken record. The main ones that's going to come up against this are going to be the Bible Belt, Southern Edomites, which a lot of them is Jake, that are born againers, that believe in the Bible. The first they're going to say this is the mark of the beast. But then they're going to be looking for an antichrist, which there's no such thing as an antichrist.
Let's see. I think it's noisome. It might be grievous, actually. Yeah, it might be grievous. Let's see here. A noisome and grievous sore. It says substantially equivalent to bad, i.e., distressing, whether the mind to the body. Or it says distressing, whether to mind or to body. And that distressing, this is going to be that radiation that's going to be pumping through your body through this chip. You see?
Right, and it's going to be constantly activated through the 5G.
When you get grievous, that word is paneras. All right? Paneras.
I mean, lately I've been going to BJ's and they switching thing up where you can't certain self checkouts where it's no cash. It says it's a big red filled and white letters, no cash. Well, no problem. I got a debit card. I got a bank card. I got a credit card. So when you swipe that card, let's say there's a blackout of this internet. Guess what? You cannot use the card, because how do they know whether that card is good or not? Because it sends a signal to the central computer, to Visa, and Visa's got it. That's how quick it is, and then it approves you. It'll say, "Yep, the thing is approved." That's why you got to wait. Processing, you're approved. If they stop your credit card from working because you owe a bill you didn't pay in 2 months, you go, they say denied. How they do that? Through the system. So that's how the chip is going to work.
Let's see here. You know what? No, it might be sore, actually. I'll get the word sore as well, too. It says, causing pain and trouble. So how is sin going to cause physical pain in your body? Right? And when you get that word sore, helkas, it says a wound, especially a wound producing a discharge pus. A cancer. It's going to be a cancerous sore. An ulcer. A suppurated wound. How does sin do this? How come you don't see people with noisome and grievous sores now? People commit sin every day. Look at these actors, entertainers.
Well, brother, wait a minute, I gotta take the side of the date. As soon as this man, the white man, says you gotta sin now, that's when the sword kicks in. That's when the sword kicks in. So they don't have to ask you, did you commit a sin? They're gonna say, put your hand up, or they're gonna look at you and they're gonna see a sore on you, and they're gonna say, nah, you good. You got a sore on you. You got cancer. You good. But you ain't got no sores on you. You ain't got no cancer. You got to put the stuff back. Fucking stupidity, man. You know you sounding fucking stupid, Nate. You know you sounding, and you know the men of GMS and the women, the sisters out there. You know we laugh at you. You know we're laughing at you. It's gonna be something with. Hey, when you do your announcement, I'll pay. You can put up YouTube. You know, go to the Patreon. I'll pay just to see your face. Just to forget about Johanna. Johanna's a soul. He's sold out. He sold out big time. If you listen to me, Johanna, you can get mad. I still love you, but guess what? You sold the fuck out. You definitely sold out, man. And Nate, I believe you sold out too. You better take that bag of money and throw it back in their face. Be like Judas Iscariot. He threw the money back in their face. And them wicked ass scribes and Pharisees said, no, we ain't taking that money. That's blood money. We ain't taking that. Like they're righteous people.
Look at these people. Where's the noisome and grievous sword based upon sin that's taking place right now?
I'm gonna say that again, my good brother. Esau got to make the announcement. As soon as he makes an announcement, you're gonna say, what's this? Shit, this sword. What the fuck? The fuck is up? Where's this sword come from? And then they're gonna explain to you, well, as long as you got that sword, you good. This is a comedy.
Right? Suppurate. Undergo the formation of pus. So this is going to be something specifically that's going to cause pus. Pus. Something that's going to fester. Ooze. It's going to be something that's going to be oozing out. Again, where do you see this happening right now? If people are still committing sin on a day-to-day basis and living their lives. If that's the mark of the beast. You see, it's going to be something that's going to be external. Something physically being placed inside of you. Okay? You don't receive adultery. All right? You don't receive lying. You don't receive murder. Again, you have to grow the fuck up. Excuse my French, you have to grow up.
No, you got to throw that money back in Rothschild's face. You say, for Rothschild, I want to have a meeting. You come with the big money bag, the 18-wheeler with all the money in it, and you say, this is for you, F you. I'm going to try to see if GMS has mercy on me and allow me in their camp.
Okay? Bishop Nathaniel was going off. He's leading you astray. And he's purposely doing it. Okay? And another thing is that what? When you buy and sell, that's something that's going to be governed by systems, not by the law. In this society that we live in. We got to remember, we in Babylon the Great, man. We're not sovereign. You know? All the world rulers that we see right now, Donald Trump, you know, the leader of Great Britain, the leader of Canada, all these various different people, they promote sin openly. They legalize wickedness. You see what I'm saying? And the more that you're wicked, they reward it. They reward rebellion. It says that in Malachi. Right? Malachi 3:15. It says, and now we call the proud happy. right? Yea, they that work wickedness are set up. Yea, they that tempt the Most High are even delivered. You see? So those that work wickedness are set up in high places. I mean, look at our people now. Look at you know, Diddy, for lack of better words. Lil Wayne, Drake. You know, all these actors, entertainers, sport, LeBron James, all these people. All these people work wickedness and are set up in high places. You see what I'm saying? They're elevated at this point. They don't restrict you buying and selling based on your obedience to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Once again, you have to call a spade, and you gotta just be a buck with it, man. You have to be mature in your understanding. Like it says in Isaiah 10:1, right? It says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousnesses which they have prescribed, which are what? Wicked laws. So you got to ask yourself, if you have these particular world leaders that encourage sin and they push it, they promote transgression against Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, why would sin, as Bishop Nathaniel says, why would sin just suddenly just be the barrier of commerce at all of a sudden? If you sin, then you can buy and sell, but if you don't sin, then you can't. I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, right? I'm gonna let you in on a small little secret. I'm in the flesh. I'm a wretched man. I still sin, and I still buy and sell. I don't have to go to the gas station to get gas and put it into my vehicle, and I don't have the cashier sitting here asking me, "Did you commit adultery today?" And if I say no, they like, "Well, nope, you can't get gas today." That's not happening.
So I said that a couple of times, and he just said it. And you know, if you would stop and think about what Bishop Nate said, or saying how he changes it, you would come to the conclusion that this shit don't make no fucking sense. And another thing about these guys is they're scared of Bishop Nate. One guy said, "We don't know who you are, but you're either Peter or Elijah coming back." That's what one guy said. It was a couple of years back. Somebody said that. Bishop Nate didn't jump up and say, "No, I don't know who I am. I don't think I'm Peter. And Abba is Elijah, so that's not me." He didn't say that. He smiled when it was said to him. There are sycophants. You know, they ass lickers, man. Just like the Nero's administration, he made sure this time to get a bunch of ass kisses. He got all his cabinet a bunch of ass kisses.
I'm not sitting here, me and my woman and my son, we ain't going out to eat to get some food, and then the waiter walks up, you know, "Hey, hello, welcome to such and such. You know, what would you like to drink?" "I'll get three. I get 3 waters with water with a lemon." "Okay, yeah, water with a lemon. Okay. Oh yeah, by the way, did you murder somebody today?" "No, hell no, I ain't murder nobody today."
No, you tell them that you smacked a girl in the ass, that you know she's married. You smacked in the ass twice and squeezed it like Sherman's. You squeezed it, and then you get in trouble with your. They go, okay, you can have your food. Your woman, she gonna get up and leave. You did what? What did you do to Sonia? You scrapped. Well, I had to tell him I had to sin. It sounds utterly stupid. Yahweh, wake your ass up. Wake your ass up. Yahweh, wake your slow ass up.
"I'm sorry, sir. Unfortunately, I can't serve you today because you didn't commit no sin." You see how stupid that shit sound?
You see, he's mad. This when you listen to this clown right here, you get mad. You want to punch the damn monitor, man. You get mad, and you don't get mad at Nate because you know Nate is a demon, but you get mad at these zombies because they don't want to wake up out of the zombie. They're under a zombie spell. You guys do get mad when we call you zombies, but guess what? You are a bunch of zombies. Look up the word zombie, and you'll see.
How
And that's Baron Samides. Look up Baron Samides, and he looked just like Baron Samides.
dumb that shit sounds, man. That's just retarded.
I don't know if y'all ever saw this movie, this video by what's the name of the Blondie, the group called Blondie. What's the chick's name? Jackie Harry or whatever her name is. And she did a rap, this Edomite chick. And she mentioned Fab Five Freddy. And then they had a guy with a top hat on. That's Baron Samedi. He had a white suit with a top hat on. That's Baron Samedi right there. And he looked just like Nate. So guess what? You might be the original Baron Samedi. Or Samides.
It sounds fucking stupid. When you read Revelation 13, it's describing the economic control, man. It ain't describing moral. It's not describing moral discernment. Did you break God's laws today? Did you break the Most High's laws today? Yes, I broke the Most High's laws. I committed adultery. I did the act of homosexuality, and I committed adultery 9 times in the past week. Okay, well here it is. You get your monthly stipend. Like, come on now, man. Grow the hell up, man. The mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip, it's connected to the image of the beast. It says what? It says worship the image, worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark. Three separate things. Ask the IUIC to thoroughly break down the image, the beast, and the mark. They cannot do it. They won't be able to do it. You see? How does sin, transgression of the law, how does sin connect to an image that speaks in a system that enforces the death penalty and a mark tied to buying and selling? How does sin like mingle itself into that? Okay? The charagma is based on what? Identification. It's going to be based on surveillance. And it's going to be something that's going to be physically enforced, man. And then the last thing. I know I've been talking a lot. Salakia. And the last thing is this. The punishment for the mark. If you receive the mark of the beast, you got to think. If the mark of the beast is sin, and sin is very, very broad, right? And if you receive this mark, which we understand and know the mark to be the charagma, which is the MOTB, the RFID microchip. If you receive this mark,
and by the way, we're 1,000,000,000% sure about it. If somebody says, what if you wrong? We're not wrong. That's my response. I've been saying that too. We're not wrong. You might be going off. You might be adding or taking. We're not adding or taking away from the word. We're breaking the word. We're breaking it down correctly. We got it. GMS got it. The whole world's going to find out that GMS is the premier camp that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is dealing with.
But in the IUIC, it's just this broad ass, dumbass term of sin. There's a unique judgment based upon if you receive the mark. It's very unique. It's very, very specific. You got to keep that also in mind, man. The punishment to the mark is extremely specific. Let's go back to Revelation 14 real quick. Right? Revelation chapter 14 and 9 and 10. We'll read it. We already read it. We'll read it again. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive the mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Ask the IUIC, where is this fire and brimstone talking about? Where?
Well, they teach, excuse me, they teach that lake of fire is an actual spiritual hell now. So he's waxing worse and worse. And the zombies had no problem with it. Oh, it means hell now? Okay, I'm with you. Gotcha, I gotcha.
Where is it? It's because this is specific. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, for eternity. It says, now it ain't talking about it's just gonna be a land. It's just gonna be a place smoking forever for eternity. It just means a long duration of time. This smoke is talking about America on fire. Okay. It says, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image. Who worship the beast and his image. Okay. And whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Remember, let's get this word receiveth one more time. Let's get it. Lambano. Okay. To receive the mark of, i.e., let oneself be marked or stamped with. How can you let yourself be marked or stamped with sin? The key word here being let. How can you let oneself be marked or stamped with sin if the Lord has concluded all under sin? You have to break that down. If we've been concluded all under sin, in the mark of sin, how can you let yourself be marked or stamped with sin? Let. The scripture says, if the Lord was to count our iniquities, who would stand? Now hold on a second. Now hold on one. Let's hold the presses. Let's hold the presses real quick, right? Stop the presses. Ezekiel 18:24. Just thought about this. But when the righteous turneth away from his unrighteousness and committeth iniquity, and doeth according to all the abominations that the wicked man doeth, shall he live? The answer is what? No. All his righteousness. I'm sorry, let me start up. I had the wrong verse. Verse 21. This is the one I want. But if the wicked will turn from all his sins that he hath committed, and keep all my statutes, and do that which is lawful and right, he shall surely live and shall not die. Now, according to the IUIC again, the mark of the beast is sin. Sin is transgression of the law. They are going.
Now, he just read from Ezekiel 18. Also in Ezekiel 3, I believe it's 3 and 18. I'm not going to go to it. But it tells you about warn them. Warn them about what? About anything that's ungodly. When the enemy comes, the fact that you got to repent. Part of the warning is you see the enemy coming, which is in the form of the mark of the beast. You got to explain it to him to warn him. When you see this happens, wait a minute. When the Lord told, when he was living, he prophesied of 70 AD, when the Romans was going to besiege Jerusalem, right? He said, when you shall see the abomination that maketh desolate, standing where it ought not, or standing in the holy place, then flee into the mountains. The ones that understood it, they said, those are the Romans. Here they come. We out of here. Right? Matthew 24, Luke 21, Mark 13 says pretty much the same thing. A little difference here and there, but it pretty much says the same thing. It says, I pray that your flight be not in winter, neither on the Sabbath day. It was talking about back then. All right? It says, when the time comes, don't go back to get anything, run. It's not talking about now. It says, woe unto them that give suck in those days. It was talking about back then. Because a baby is going to slow you down. Right? It ain't talking about now. So when you go to Matthew 24, Luke 21, and Mark 13, some verses are talking about now, other verses are talking about 70 AD. So you gotta know, you gotta know. Hey, for you to go into the Old Testament, when you read the book, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, the book of Acts, Galatians, you read all those books from the New Testament, you're gonna be forced to have to go into the history of ancient Rome, because there were certain things that were done that the Romans did that's written in the scriptures. Oh, this is what crucifixion is, a Roman thing. That's the worst. That's the most humiliating way to be, and the most horrific ways to be crucified, where people see you die slow. Because they didn't do that to Apostle Paul, because he was a sinner. He was a citizen of Rome, so he had certain rights. Peter didn't have those rights because he was not a citizen of Rome. He was a province of Rome, member of the province of Rome, but he was not an official citizen. If the Apostle Paul was not a citizen, he would have got crucified too. Everybody that he crucified, I would venture to say that they were all Jake.
Going to force a digital currency, which is going to force you to break the commandments. Mind you, this is the logic of the IUIC. The Lord has concluded all under sin, but this unique punishment is a grievous sword, and ultimately fire and brimstone, you being destroyed. But in Ezekiel 18, you can turn from your sin and you can live. But you cannot repent from the mark of the beast, according to what the scriptures say. If you receive the mark, you're going to be tormented. Somebody from the IUIC has to connect the dots. Somebody.
They're not going to connect the dots because they're scared to death of Bishop Nate. They think he's God Almighty. They really convinced themselves that this guy's God Almighty. And it's a fucking shame. If I said something and I went off, you have several men from the GMS say that, Tahar, you going off. Yeah, but I'm the head. I don't care if you're the head. You're going off on this. You're going off on this. Now you're teaching that if I was to say certain Edomites could make it, I would say every member of the GMS would leave me. They would cut me off. They'd cut me off. If myself and other apostles said, and the bishops, we said, no, certain Edomites can make it. Genesis was right. If y'all were real about this thing, you would say, no, we ain't dealing with y'all. We cutting y'all off. That's how serious this thing is. IUIC is afraid. They look at this man. They liken him as a god. They liken him as a god. Whatever this dude says, the new moon is a full moon. From 2003, when he established IUIC, up until 2016, we're talking 13 years, the new moon is a dark moon. One day he says, oh, it's a full moon. None of them guys bucked up against it. Yahweh Sop didn't buck up against it. Deacon Ethan didn't. Deacon Asaph didn't. None of them bucked up against it. Yahweh Sop, Carl Kanai, none of them guys bucked up against it. He can pretty much say anything he wants to say, as long as it's within some type of reason. They'll believe him. They blindly follow this guy. I didn't blindly follow the 7. I had many counsels with the 7 and showed them in the scriptures that they said, you know what, you're right. I defied the 7 through the spirit of the Most High. When they said I was breaking something down wrong, and I showed them in scriptures, they'll be me against the 7, and I made them shut up. So what the fuck you talking about, man? Remember, we got kicked out of the school Because we were teaching that Cornelius was an Israelite, and they said no, Cornelius is an Edomite. What did he wind up teaching? That Cornelius was an Israelite. So he was dead wrong back then, and he's going to be dead wrong right now. And the ones of you that can't see it, you can't see it because you're not part of the elect. You're just not going to make it. Them guys that were marching, 2,000 guys, 3,000 guys that were marching, most of them guys are just Jake that got called, but they're not chosen. Some of them, I believe, are.
Somebody from the IUIC has to connect that. I'm going to say it again one more time. The mark of the beast is sin. They're going to implement a digital currency, and you will not be able to buy or sell unless you break the Most High's laws. The Lord has concluded all under sin, and we all have sinned and fall short of the glory of the Most High. The punishment for receiving the mark is a grievous sore, a pus, a cancer that oozes out pus, which you have people sinning all day, every day, and you don't see grievous sores on everybody walking around right now. You still sin. Bishop Nathaniel still sins. I don't give a damn what he tell you. You could think that he's the most perfect man on the planet Earth. He still sins. He still goes off. I don't see no grievous sore on him.
Let me go ahead and do this. Okay, Revelation 16. We're going to do this. I mean, I can just type. Let me do this. Let me do this. What's the GMS Israel lights take on Revelation Revelation 16 verse 2. We're almost done. I'm almost done. GMS Grave Millstone, part of the One West Black Hebrew Israelite movement, interpret Revelation 16:2 in a very specific, literal, apocalyptic way. Revelation 16:2, King James Version, speaks about the first angel pouring out a vial, causing a noisome and grievous sore upon those who have the mark of the beast and worship his image. GMS interpretation. Here's how GMS typically breaks it down. The mark of the beast, GMS teaches that the mark is a literal physical implant, specifically an RFID microchip, they believe the beast equals the modern Western power structure, primarily the United States, which they identify with Edom Esau. The mark equals a mandatory microchip used for buying and selling based on Revelation 13, 16, 17, taking it a conscious act of allegiance to this system. So they can't force it on you. They strongly reject symbolic only interpretation and insist it is a physical device. The noisome and grievous sore, GMS teaches this, will be a literal physical plague that the Most High sends, a painful outbreak, possibly radiation burns, disease, or divine plague, specifically targeting those who accept the chip. Part of the broader judgment during the destruction of America, which they believe is Babylon the Great. Some in GMS connect this to nuclear radiation, biological warfare, or direct supernatural judgment from Yahweh, their name for God. Who gets the plague? According to GMS, Edomites, white people in their racial theology, who rule the current world system. They're covering everything. Get down, chat. 2/3 Israelites, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans who reject their message and take the chip. So we are warning you. We're doing a lot of videos on this subject, so it must be months away. Anyone who submits to the beast system. They teach that only the elect, 144,000 plus 1/3 remnant of Israel in America, will refuse the mark and be protected if they're part of the elect. Keyword is the elect. 144,000 is not going to take it. The 1/3 of the elect is not going to take it. Some of them will die in the process. They will get killed, head chopped off. So then you're going to find out whether this shit is real or not. It's going to be real when your head is under that piece and you smelling dead flesh. They might wipe it off for you. You smell that dead flesh, and all of a sudden you hear then the head falls in the basket. And then you in the spiritual realm looking down at yourself. Important context. GMS is known for extremely literal end time interpretation. Let me read that again. GMS is known for extremely literal end times interpretations. Apocalyptic urgency, meaning it can happen within months. We're saying this thing's going to happen within months. A racial identity-based theology, like the small hats. Strong anti-system rhetoric. Their view differs from mainstream Christianity, which often sees the mark as symbolic or allegiance, which the Most High is not dealing with them. Preterist interpretations, which see Revelation as fulfilled in the Roman Empire, Most High is not dealing with them. Amillennial interpretation, which sees symbolic spiritual realities. If you like, I can also, Chad explained it correct. Explain how mainstream evangelical scholars interpret Revelation 16 and 2. How early church writers understood it, or how other black Hebrew Israelite camps differ from GMS? Let's go with that. That's what I was going to ask anyway. Black Hebrew Israelites, BHI camps aren't unified. There is major doctrinal and tonal differences between groups. GMS, Great Millstone, is considered one of the most hardline and apocalyptic camps. Here's how other major camps often differ from GMS. IUIC Israelites, much more polished and focused on imagery. Listen. Confrontational. I want him to break down. Excuse me. Okay, let me read this. Often teaches it is an embargo system of economic control, not necessarily a microchip. Some IUIC teachers have room for interpretation rather than insisting on RFID implants the way GMS does. So that's on record. That's on record. End times apocalyptic, but less fixation on microchip prophecy. Right, we're fixed on this. Fixated. More emphasis on building the nation of Israel spiritually now. It's not about building. It's about building the elect. Heaven, like GMS, believes the kingdom will be on earth. Israelite identity teaches it. Blah blah blah. ISUBK, Israelite School of Practical Knowledge. Original school was Israeli School of Practical Knowledge. Militant and structured. Heavy emphasis on discipline and chain of command. Mark of the Beast historically taught it as a philosophy and system, not necessarily a literal chip. Less chip focus than GMS. So it say historically taught it is a philosophy and system. They're nowhere near understanding it. And the reason why Captain Zariak does what he does, says what he says, because he's blind. He listens to General Yohana. There's not different HOI. House of Israel, often symbolic, less fixation on RFID. So here's the record right here. They pretty much said they're not pushing the chip thing. They're pretty much saying that is not the chip. It's a symbol. It's following the symbol. It's symbolic. It's this. It's that. It's spiritual. It's an embargo. Let's listen to the rest of this. I'm sorry I'm taking this to going long.
There should be Grevious swords all over the goddamn place. Every single last one of us should have a Grevious sword, if that's the case. You get a Grevious sword, then you get tormented with fire and brimstone. But you can repent, as it says here in Ezekiel 18. But if the wicked will turn from all his sins that he hath committed, and keep all my statutes, and do that which is lawful and right, he shall surely live and shall not die. But you can't repent from the mark of the beast. Someone from the IUIC has to break this down. They have to break down that connection. If their logic is the mark of the beast is sin, which proves they don't know what the hell they're talking about, which proves that it doesn't make sense. All right. So again, let's listen to it one more time, and I'm gonna end the video.
16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
So that mark is sin. Go ahead. And how they going to enforce that? Go ahead.
And that no man might buy or sell.
So they're going to use a digital currency, buying and selling. That's how they're going to force people to break God's laws. Read that again.
If you go back to 2014, so 2016, he never mentioned digital currency. We always mention digital currency. So he changed it again.
Look at verse 17.
And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark.
Like in Uganda. Uganda said, we don't accept LGBT. They said, you cannot buy or sell. Y'all see it in the news.
Uganda is making trade with a major nation. More than one nation, but a major nation is China. I just showed you that. They don't need America. They're making trade, doing trade. They don't need America. Europe doesn't need America. Europe doesn't need America. They're making new alliances, man. They got their own money system. And Trump ain't doing nothing against China, or he ain't threatening them, because they'll blow his ass out the water. They ain't defying Russia.
But they're still buying and selling. They're still matter of fact, let's one more thing. Slakia. Today, who does Uganda trade with? Its principal trading partners include South Sudan, Kenya, the Democratic Republic of Congo, China, which China is a major exporter, India, and Japan. They're still buying and selling. They're still trading.
Wait a minute. You don't need, look, this is Uganda, right? Its principal trading partners include South Sudan, major country, right? Kenya, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, China, India, and Japan. Why would they need to do trade with the U.S.? China, everything that you fucking get, you go to the furniture store, we need a new table, we need a new furniture set. Where you gonna go? You're gonna go to a furniture spot, and whether you go to Ashley's or whether you go to Big Bob's, and you know what? That furniture, a lot of it was made in China. You go to the auto dealership to get a part. You want the dealer part. Guess what? Oh, the dealer part means it's made by the dealer. That means it's made in the U.S. Nope, it's made in China. I got a part years ago. It was for a starter, but I wanted to deal. I forget what part it was, but it was a dealer part. The mechanic says, "Get a dealer part. Get the dealer part for this one." I got the dealer part, so I'm thinking it's gonna say made in the U.S. It said made in China, assembled in Mexico. These nations know that they don't have to deal with America. Rubio, the guy, Marco Rubio. He made a statement. He said that Brazil. He made a statement about Brazil doing trade with China, exclusively doing trade with China now. And he said there's going to become a point where all those nations are going to do trade with China. And then he said this. He said, we're not going to, in 5 years, we will not be able to sanction any of them because they don't need us. You sanction certain nations because you're punishing them. So if you're turning around you're getting everything that you can from another nation outside the U.S., that means the U.S. is going down. And if China wanted to destroy, without shooting one missile, if China wanted to destroy Babylon the Great or America economically, all they have to do is call for an embargo, which is a sanction. If they call for a sanction, guess what? You go to BJ's, everything gonna be empty. Everything gonna be empty in there. No flat screen TVs, no furniture, no nothing. You go to Big Bob's Furniture, Nothing gonna be there. You go to Ashley's or these high-end, nothing. Everything is made outside of New York, outside of the U.S. Oh, cars. Ain't nobody gonna make no more cars. Your car breaks down, your ass out. Because guess what? China called for a sanction against America. If they do that, you're done.
Their biggest trading partner is the United Arab Emirates. What does Uganda export to the USA? To the United States was driven mainly by exports of coffee, soybean meal, commodities not elsewhere specified. So Uganda has particular deals with Babylon the Great. But I guess Uganda has the mark. Small nations, big nations. Small corporations, big corporations. Rich corporations, poor corporations. Bond corporations, free corporations. Free nations. Free nations, small nations.
Yeah, it's comedic. It's comedic. Anyway, Shalom, on to the next.